Hello, this is the TradeSite Forex Market Preview and International Economic Data Roadmap for the week beginning Sunday, April 6th, 2014 and ending Friday, April 11th. Hope you're having a good trading week, although it's hard to see how in the Forex market. It was very slow once again. A couple of days we didn't even have any triggers, which is quite amazing. Even on a news spike, we stayed between the two triggers, the euro trading very narrowly. We'll take a look at the interweek action in a bit. We're going to start by looking at the daily charts. Then we'll look at the interweek action. Then we'll look at what's coming this next week. Try to put together a roadmap. Once again, here's the dollar index. As you can see, not much going on here. Pretty flat. We're still in this horrid range since October, literally right where we were 6 months ago today. And not doing a lot. It's hard to get excited about a market that's this flat. Hopefully we'll break this range here soon and get moving. Euro dollar didn't do much either. Broke that static trend line just by a little bit, but that is it. Here's a look at the pound dollar. This has been so flat for over a month now itself. And the Aussie dollar we'll look at as well. You can see these 5 days were pretty flat. Not much to look at there, so I'm kind of speeding through it because when you don't move, you don't get new signals, obviously. So we don't have much to worry about there. Now, let's look at the interweek action. Here's the euro dollar in 30-minute bars. So you've got Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. Last Sunday's closed right off the left edge of the screen there. And you can see that with that Monday, we did have a move up on some news. Look how flat we were from Monday going into Tuesday. Kind of move up Tuesday a little bit, but really look at the total range for this week. It's 140 pips from high to low. There's a couple of spikes here. So really, if you take the body of it, you're from 1.3810 down to about 1.3690. That's 120 pips for the whole week. The big move was Thursday on the trade balance number. Friday's unemployment. This was the interesting stuff here. Friday, you see the big white bar and the big blue bar on Friday. Those were the unemployment data. Spike up and a spike back. 50 pips of range on the spike didn't trigger either of our trades, which are just on the north and south side of that, and never went anywhere. So not much to say. Coming looking at the euro dollar, pound dollar range for the entire week, from the 66.80 up top down to the 65.60 down below. 130 pips again for this. And look how flat the first 3.5 days were. I mean, you're talking about 50, 60 pips of range for the entire until that trade balance number came out Thursday. The whole week. That's just not tradable. People trying to make money in that too heavily are getting chopped up. Here's a look at the Aussie. Not even 100 pips of range for the whole. This is horrible. Horrible to look at. So there's really nothing new to say about the market itself. We're still half size, and we've been half size for longer than we've ever been, I think, at this point in time. And the ranges are just very, very poor. And we're waiting for something to pick up here in the Forex market. Keep plugging away anyways. Here's a look at the euro dollar. I'm sorry, here's a look at the economic data coming out this week. We'll go through it starting at the top. Sunday, got a bank holiday out of China. Japan leading indicators, German industrial production, CPI out of Switzerland, Centex investor confidence out of Europe, business outlook survey out of Canada, consumer credit at 3 p.m. in the afternoon Eastern time Monday here in the U.S., current account out of Japan that night, and monetary policy statement out of the Bank of Japan. Economy watcher sentiment going into Tuesday out of Japan. Unemployment rate from Switzerland. Bank of Japan press conference from their rate announcement. Europe has their French trade balance and government budget balance. Swiss retail sales. UK manufacturing production and industrial production. Remember, this last week we had U.S. trade balance and unemployment. Right there are two of our big three economic numbers every month already out of the way. Here for April for us on the U.S. side. Canada housing starts and building permits. JOLTS job openings here in the U.S. Couple of speeches by Fed members. BRC shop price index out of the U.K. Westpac consumer sentiment. Aussie home loans. This is all out of Australia. Bank of Japan monthly report. German trade balance. New loans and M2 money supply data out of China. Trade balance out of the U.K. U.S. data, wholesale inventories, this is Wednesday morning, crude oil inventories, 10-year bond auction. Minutes from the last Fed meeting get released in the afternoon. New Zealand business manufacturing index, RICS house price balance, Japan's core machinery orders and bank lending. MI inflation expectations out of Australia, unemployment data out of Australia. China has their trade balance, Japan's preliminary machine tool orders. This is all going into Thursday. French industrial production and CPI. Monthly bulletin now, the ECB. Italian industrial production. Rate announcement out of the UK, the Bank of England. Canada's NHPI. Remember, we had the ECB rate announcement the other week. Unemployment claims out of the U.S. That's the weekly jobless number. Import prices out of the U.S. Natty gas, 30-year bond auction out of the U.S. We go into Thursday night, Japan's monetary policy meeting minutes, CGPI and M2 money stock, China's CPI and PPI, Japan's 30-year bond auction going into Friday, Europe's final CPI data, CB leading index, PPI out of the U.S. Remember, we still have CPI left next week. That'll be our other of our big three. Later in the month, we also have first look at gross domestic product here in the U.S. This will be a big number when we hit it for the first quarter, now that that's over. Michigan sentiment preliminary data for the month, and that's it. We got the G20 meetings, IMF meetings this weekend. So none of our major data, really. You do have the rate announcement out of the Bank of England, but probably no surprises there. There is some data this week, but none of it's any of our big data. So we don't have that to push us around. And I think we just, really, again, a straightforward trading week, unfortunately, with no real reason to expect ranges to improve. That's the bad news. Continue to use our Seeker and Comer tools for their reversals. They were really good this week. I think out of all the ones I saw on the 5-minute charts, I think there were about 7. I think 5 of them worked and 2 of them did not. That's a pretty good win ratio. When you got nothing else going on, market going back and forth, you just want to find those turning points. That's it. Everybody have a great trading week. We hope to see you in the lab, and we'll make our calls as usual.